Hey guys, it's Chris Wong. I'm filming this video as of March 17th, 2025, and I'd like to talk about why I decided to move more margin investing into Wealthsimple margin. So as a disclaimer, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just guys interested in building a portfolio. So originally when I tried to use Wealthsimple margin, I didn't fully understand it compared to Questrade margin, and I did find it difficult at first to use Wealthsimple margin. I thought at first I had trouble converting money from Canadian to USD in order to purchase on USD. And also, there was a bit of challenge of trying to withdraw cash from Wealthsimple Margin, but they were still improving the app. But I did see over time they're improving the app, and I'm actually starting to like it more. Wealthsimple Margin has a good interest rate for using margin, so I think it's around 5% for Canadian and 7.5% for USD. So it is a much lower rate than Questrade. I still use Questrade margin account. In my previous video, I talked about how I'm not purchasing any more shares on Questrade margin, and I'm just going to let the dividends try to pay down the margin and also my work income so I can try to clear the margin balance. So right now I'm trying to use more Wealthsimple margin because I'm starting to like the lower interest rate. So one of the mistakes I made when using margin, when I already had a set portfolio that I can actually use margin on, is actually trying to maximize your margin. Because when margin call happens, it can just take a lot of money from like your bank account in order to try to settle it if you don't want to sell your shares. But with Wealthsimple, since I'm starting it out, I'm limited to how much money I put into my Wealthsimple margin account. And I'm not planning to sell my Wealthsimple TFSA or transfer all my funds from my Wealthsimple TFSA to my Wealthsimple margin account just so I can actually use more margin. And because I'm actually starting using Wealthsimple margin, this is the only time I'm okay trying to maximize margin, because if the account balance is a lot smaller, then selling a margin call is a lot easier. I can just sell a few shares if I had to, or in most cases, the only margin call I got in Wealthsimple was I had to deposit $100, which was a simple transaction from Wealthsimple Cash. I find selling margin calls with Wealthsimple was a lot easier for me because I use Wealthsimple Cash in order to run my daily transactions. Like if I'm going to go to Costco or if I'm going to go to any other grocery store, I just use my Wealthsimple Cash to pay for it. And I've done transactions in the store where I transfer my dividends into my Wealthsimple Cash just to make some purchases. And now I can do transactions from Wealthsimple Cash to my Wealthsimple margin account. So if I wanted to invest more money on margin, or if I need to settle a margin call, it's much easier for me to settle it by transferring from cash to the margin account. And even if I want to withdraw money on margin, if there's enough buying power, it was actually an instant transaction from margin account into my Wealthsimple Cash. I'm still wondering if there's still flaws in the program, if they're still working on improving the program, which I still think they're improving it. I think last time I tried to withdraw some cash from the margin account to cash, I couldn't withdraw anything, maybe because the buying power was too low, but I was able to still purchase like a share or two on the Wealthsimple margin. The other main reason why I'm moving more towards a Wealthsimple margin, especially for Canadian ETFs, is because the dividends are greater than the margin interest rate they charge, because most of the Canadian ETFs that I invest in are around 12 to 20%. And if the margin interest rate is around 5%, then I can still make some money on the dividend income relative to the margin interest they'll charge for the month. So when I was using Questrade, I didn't invest with Canadian ETFs because the margin interest rate was too high on Questrade relative to the dividend yield for the Canadian ETFs. So that's why I stuck with the USD ETFs on Questrade, because of the high dividend yield relative to the interest rate. So one of the downsides as Canadian investing with USD listed ETFs is the withholding taxes on dividends. So every time I get paid dividends with USD, I will actually get charged 15% withholding tax on dividends, and that over time eats up on the total return, and over time it adds up how much money I would be losing every single month. Right now in the Canadian market, there seems to be more ETFs that have higher dividend yields, like the Harvest HHIS, MSTY, MSTE, even the Coinbase Coney and the leverage version. The dividend yields are much higher than the interest rate it charges. So right now I'm moving more towards the Canadian ETFs for investing on margin. I'm still going to invest on USD listed funds in my Questrade and even some in my Wealthsimple. I may not add as much USD ones now and just focus on the Canadian ones. I hope you guys liked the video. If you liked the video, please give me a thumbs up. Otherwise, please subscribe to my channel for future videos. Thank you guys for watching.